Welcome. This is my women's yoga. It'll just be a short practice, about 20 minutes, and it is prenatal and postpartum friendly and not super strenuous. We're just going to connect with our bodies and breath and seek to bring some peace into our own hearts. So that we have peace to share with others as they need it. One of the things that I've noticed about women, not just mothers, but the roles that women play in people's lives, is so much about providing calm and evenness, like helping people, helping everybody else, whether it's other men or children or other women, navigate the way that our nervous systems are always moving around, and all of the ups and downs of life. So this practice is meant to help each of y'all women tap into the peace that is within you, that God longs to give you. So find a comfortable seat. That might be, I'll move myself back a little bit here so you can see. That might be sitting on a pillow or some kind of bolster. It might be sitting on a folded blanket. It might be sitting on the ground. It might be having your legs crossed. It might have them kind of out in front of you, or maybe you're sitting on your legs, on your knees. Whatever seems to be a place where you feel steady. And just begin to notice the place where your body is in contact with the floor. The bottom of our pelvis, there are kind of two knobbly bits that we kind of call our sit bones. You might be able to feel them as you're sitting on the ground right now, noticing how they're coming in contact with the floor. And then as you're ready, begin to notice your breath. What a big sign of life that is in our bodies, a constant and involuntary sign of life. The in-breath, and maybe the side out-breath. We'll do a few stretches, just sitting here. As I said, this series is prenatal and postpartum friendly. There are specific things to watch out for that I'll make note of as we move along. One of which is the tenderness of the abdominal muscles after you've had a child, because they, of course, move away from one another to make room for the baby, and then they seek to bring themselves back together in the postpartum time, which is the rest of your life. It is the rest of your life, women. But things like crunches can continue to splay it out, and putting pressure on those muscles, like gravitational pressure, can exacerbate it too. So things like downward dog and tabletop, they're not bad, they're not wrong, but doing a lot of it, I found that it put a lot of pressure on those sweet muscles that we're trying to get back together. So a different way to do cat and cow pose is just sitting up. You can grab onto your knees for a little bit of counter pressure, and as you inhale, draw your shoulders back toward one another, shine your face up toward the sky, open your chest. Cow. And then as you exhale, roll your shoulders forward, maybe tuck your chin toward your chest, concave that spine. Cat. Inhale. Cow. Exhale. Cat. As you move through cat and cow, sitting here, you're not putting as much pressure on those muscles in your core as you would if they were trying to hold up all of the weight of your organs. You're also able to notice, if you pay attention to your sit bones again, how much your pelvis is moving, how much your hips are changing position in these poses. When I was doing a few cat-cows earlier, I was even feeling my hips cracking. You can feel how you almost have your tailbone on the floor in cat. Moving forward, and you almost have your pelvic bone, your pubic bone, on the floor in cow. Bring yourself back to center. Inhale and exhale here. Noticing any sensation that you have in your torso. Perhaps you feel tingling on your skin or in your muscles or your ligaments as we've just been moving. And then as you're ready, bring that right hand down to the mat. Inhale your left arm up and maybe even over. And then inhale and exhale here. You might want to bend that right elbow. Explore the side stretch here. You might want to focus the stretch here in your shoulder. You might want to draw that stretch. You see that difference? Into your ribs. You could even see how the stretch has moved now into my hip. You can stretch all kinds of pieces of your side here. Inhale and exhale yourself back up to center. Take a few breaths here to notice the difference between your two sides, one side that you've stretched and the other that you haven't yet. And then as you're ready, float that left hand down to the mat and the right hand over toward the left, any amount. It might be that you just stretch that right arm up toward the sky. It might be that your shoulder is limited and so your arm is not stretching so far. That's totally fine. That's great. You can move that stretch anywhere along your body by moving your body, your arm. You could even kind of get some cat-cow in here. Woo! Turning your body toward the mat or up to the sky. You've got muscles right all around. Bring yourself back to center. There are 6 different directions that your spine should move every day for optimal health. We've done 4 of them. Cow, cat, side, side, and now twisting each direction. One thing to be careful of prenatal in twisting, so you don't want to twist too hard, right? It just would strain your muscles, and your muscles are under plenty of strain already, right? So what you might want to do is focus the stretch if you've got a belly, kind of at the spot where your bra strap is on your back, bringing that stretch and twist up toward your shoulders and your upper torso, and your neck and your head, rather than having it down real deep in your belly. So I'm going to do any damage, but if anything hurts, back off. You can place your right hand down on the mat, your left hand on your right knee, and start to twist any amount. Inhale and exhale. If you're looking for a really super deep twist, you can always move your belly, bring your, imagine sliding your belly button over to the right, and then after you've slid your belly button over, then you can think about twisting your ribs even more. And then after you've twisted your ribs, you can think about twisting your shoulders. And after your shoulders, your neck. And after your neck, your head. And after your head, your eyeballs. See how far you can look. Inhale and exhale that whole time. Bring yourself back to center. And then, of course, we'll do the other side. That left hand to the mat, your right hand to your left knee, twisting any amount. You can move that left hand back. I'm going to lose y'all. You can move that left hand back toward behind your body if you want a deeper twist. Inhale and exhale here. One more inhale. Exhale, bring yourself back to center. Now, generally, our work together is not going to be too strenuous. But one thing that I want to show y'all that's so great for building strength in prenatal and postpartum in all of our lives is a side plank. What a great thing the side plank is. There's lots of modifications to help us wherever we are. And so let me show you what we've got going on here. You can place your arm on the mat, your shoulder over your wrist. We've got our knees on the mat and a nice long straight line. Beautiful side plank right here. You might even be able to feel these oblique muscles engage. This is postpartum friendly for helping develop your core. You see how we don't have any of the big weight like we would here, pressing down on those core muscles. If this is feeling pretty good, you can always move up to your feet. Whole thing here. And if this is feeling really good and you're like, come on, Emily, give me more, you can always move, kind of threading the needle, back up, down, back up, and you can always kind of do a tree pose here if you're looking for more strenuousness. I am not. Remember always to keep those hips nice and high. You don't want them coming down toward the mat. And really it's this isometric hold, just holding it for a few breaths. If that doesn't feel good on your wrist, you can always come down to your elbow too. Still does you great work. And if you just need more padding, you can always use a double folded yoga mat. So let me do it the other way. So we even out. And this is kind of our hardcore ab work, our core work for the day. One of the things that I found so important in yoga practice, sometimes one of the sides is harder than the other. One of the things I found so helpful in yoga practice is recognizing the analogies between our bodies and our spirits. One of the analogies that I recognize with core work is how our, just going to bring a little more light in here, how our core and making a strong core, which is not just abdominal muscles, but is the sides of our body, and really the back of our body too, our entire core, all of these muscles, helping them to be strong helps us to be steady, and not only steady in our bodies, but steady in our lives, in our beliefs, in our convictions, in our peace. So that's what I think about when I'm doing ab work. Come on back to your mat. I'm going to sit down again. One of the stretches we're going to do, you might want to have a bolster or a block, which I'm going to show you. Or you can always use what you have, and perhaps you have a few books. I don't have any super thick books, but I'll bet you do. So just grab a few super thick books. Here's one super thick book. Stack them up, and then take a little squat. Let your sit bones rest on the block, the bolster, folded blankets, a few pillows, whatever you've got. And what we're doing is drawing our spine up nice and tall from our sit bones. You can hold on to your knees for stability. Or what else you could do, you could also, I'm going to scoot this back a little bit, you could also bring your elbows to the insides of your knees, bring your hands into prayer position. You might feel a stretch on the inside of your thighs. If you feel better without a block, it's a little bit more of an active pose. That might feel good too. Or good might be a strong word, but it might still be useful for us. Take a few breaths here. Nice deep breaths. Perhaps begin to notice the muscles of your pelvic floor. We've talked already about the sit bones, which are kind of the two east and west sides of your pelvic floor, and then your pubic bone is kind of the north, and the tailbone is the south. So you've got this rectangle or triangle. Nope, not a triangle at all. A trapezoid, a diamond, four-sided something that makes up your pelvic floor. It's a hammock of muscles that is not only important in reproductive health, but is so commonly ignored and mistreated just in general in our lives. We often clench those muscles, which doesn't make them strong, because if a muscle is constantly clenched, you can come on out of that to seated, it actually becomes weak because it's not exercising. It's just holding in one spot and not gaining muscle or anything. It just becomes atrophied. And actually that does it more damage than releasing and crunching it. I'm sorry I don't have the right words, y'all. But that pelvic floor, it's important. We're going to keep working on that. So let's do a few goddess poses. And then we'll come down to the mat. So put your feet wider than hip distance apart, not like a huge split, but just wider than hip distance apart. Inhale your arms up to the sky. And then exhale, bring yourself into goalpost arms or cactus arms, wherever you happen to be. I've got my arms at right angles. I've got my legs out. Not quite at right angles. You can totally do that. That's just super intense. I'm not quite going that low. You do want to have your knees out like we did in Malasana, that squat pose that we already did. You want your knees pointing out over your toes. You don't want them inside of your toes. You want them nice and out. Let's inhale up. Exhale down. Breathe in and out here. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more. 3 breaths here. 1. 2. And 3. Inhale and release. We're going to bring ourselves into mountain pose. Place your feet comfortably, maybe hip distance apart, maybe a little bit closer, whatever feels good to you. Hands shining out. Plugging your feet in to all 4 corners, the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the outside of the heel and the inside of the heel. Feeling steady in your feet. And then just for tonight, I encourage you to take your right foot and just put your arch over your ankle. Don't even take that foot all the way off the floor. This is a low tree. I'm gonna lose y'all again. Gotta figure that one out. Low tree. Pay attention and dig into those feet. Draw that energy up your legs. Notice the positioning of your hips, on one up and one down, or the other way around. Imagine a belt along your hip bones and keeping that nice and flat and straight. One more inhale and exhale and release. Shake that out and we'll bring it to the other side, drawing that right foot into stability, and then just doing a little kickstand with that left foot. Not up off the floor, not tonight. See if you can be okay with where you are right now. Not longing for more, not striving. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale, release. I'm going to bring you down a little bit. So I can see you better. So you can see me better. And so what I wanted to close our practice with this evening, is a little chant. It's Lord, grant us peace. Dona nobis pacem. This is how it goes. You don't have to join me, but find a comfortable seat. And I will chant it for us a few times. Feel free to join if you'd like. Dona nobis pacem, pacem. Dona nobis pacem. Dona nobis pacem, pacem. Dona nobis pacem. Bring your hands to heart center. Let your chin fall toward your chest. When we say namaste, what we're saying is, the God who dwells in me acknowledges that God also dwells in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. We'll be doing some of this on Zoom, so feel free to contact me and I'll add you to that mailing list. Have a great night.